Hello world, welcome back. Nikolai518 here. Today we're going to be doing questions 6 through 10 for the sample questions. This is regarding the Certified Cloud Practitioner AWS cert that we're working towards. I felt like last time went pretty good. Let's try to complete 5 more questions. Alright, so number 6. Which component of the AWS global infrastructure does Amazon CloudFront use to ensure low latency delivery? AWS regions, edge locations, availability zones, virtual private cloud. If you do a very quick Google search, what is an edge location? So a site that CloudFront uses to cache copies of your content for faster delivery to users at any location. A mentor once told me that to cache data is to bring data closer to where you need it to be. So which component of the AWS global infrastructure does Amazon CloudFront use to ensure low latency delivery? My answer for this would be edge locations. You can kind of tell that the questions are starting to get a little bit more difficult. If looking at these answers, comparing a zone to a region to an edge location, I feel like this would be the correct answer. And let's check it out. So, B. To deliver content to users with low latency, Amazon CloudFront uses global network of points of presence, edge locations, and regional edge caches worldwide. So we got that right. Next is number 7. How would a system administrator add an additional layer of login security to a user's AWS management console? Use Amazon Cloud Directory, audit AWS identity and access management IAM rules, enable multi-factor authentication, enable AWS CloudTrail. I feel like this is what all our applications are always yelling at us about, whether that's gaming or social network. They're always asking you to sign up for two-factor authentication. So how would a system administrator add an extra layer of login security? My intuition is telling me enable multi-factor authentication. C. Multi-factor authentication, MFA, is a simple best practice that adds an extra layer of protection on top of a username and password. With MFA enabled, when a user signs into an AWS management console, they will be prompted for their username and password, the first factor, what they know, as well as an authentication code from their MFA device, the second factor, what they have. Taken together, these multiple factors provide increased security for AWS account settings, and resources. Number 8. Which service can identify the user that made the API call when an Amazon EC2 instance is terminated? You've got A, AWS Trusted Advisor, AWS CloudTrail, AWS X-Ray, AWS Identity and Access Management, AWS IAM. So, which service can identify the user that made an API call? It's almost like as if there was a log or some sort of trail of steps that were taken. So looking at all of these options, AWS CloudTrail seems right to me. Let's see. So the answer is B. AWS CloudTrail helps users enable governance, compliance, and operational and risk auditing of their AWS account. Actions taken by a user, role, or AWS service are recorded as events in the CloudTrail. Events include actions taken in the AWS Management Console, AWS Command Line Interface, and AWS SDKs and APIs. So our intuition was right there. Number 9, which service would be used to send alerts based on Amazon CloudWatch alarms? Amazon Simple Notification Service, AWS Cloud Trail, AWS Trusted Advisor, Amazon Route 53. One word that kind of sticks out here is alarm and notification. We just kind of went over Cloud Trail, but my intuition is telling me that choice A is correct here. Amazon Simple Notification Service. So let's see. The answer is A. Amazon SNS and Amazon CloudWatch are integrated so users can collect, view, and analyze metrics for every active SNS. Once users have configured CloudWatch for Amazon SNS, they can gain better insight into performance of their Amazon SNS topics, push notifications, and SMS deliveries. All right, last one. Where can a user find information about prohibited actions on the AWS infrastructure? So essentially the rules, the rule book, right? We don't want to break any rules. We want to be a good customer. We want to be able to utilize AWS for our projects. And the choices are AWS Trusted Advisor, AWS Identity and Access Management, Billing Console, AWS Acceptable Use Policy. So right off the rip, this one doesn't really make sense. Like these are kind of separate topics, billing and versus rules. So I don't believe it's C. Identity and access management, this seems a little bit different. Trusted advisor, maybe, but I'm feeling pretty strongly towards AWS acceptable use policy. That seems to make sense to me. So I'm going to lock in that as my final answer, and let's see. D, the AWS acceptable use policy provides information regarding prohibited actions on the AWS infrastructure. So probably good to take a quick look at that. Just make sure we're not breaking any rules. Make sure we can stay in good standing with AWS so that we can keep using it. I really appreciate you stopping by. That was 10 sample questions. I will have this PDF link in the video description if you would like to go over these questions on your own. Just want to say I'm proud of you. We're making progress. We're going to take a small step every day, and eventually we're going to earn our cert. So thanks again, and I will see you next time.